Good afternoon. I would like to call this special called meeting of the Oldham County Board of Education to order. We are at North Oldham High School, and we want to thank that staff for hosting us this evening. And it is September 9th, 2016. The first item of business is to approve the agenda. Any corrections or additions, Superintendent?
No, ma'am.
All right, motion to approve the agenda, please. Made by Mrs. Beckner and seconded by Mr. Dodson. All those in favor, and that's 5-0. We do have a consent agenda. Would you like to just touch base on the consent agenda items, Mr. Schultz?
Sure. So obviously apologize for the late addition of those. One, and I'm going to go in reverse order just for explanation purposes. B was a new coach, new principal, and so the overnight field trip request just came in at a little bit different timing. So we wanted to make sure we gave honored them and was able to get that on. And the other one is a grant of easement to LG&E for the Arvin project, that if we do not get that done now, they really can't start the work. So we want to make sure we got that in front of you guys as soon as we possibly could.
All right, thank you. Questions or comments? All right, your recommendation, sir?
Approve the consent items as presented.
Motion to approve the consent agenda made by Mr. Shum and seconded by Mr. Woosley. All those in favor, and that's 4 with 1 abstention. We are ready then at this time, Mr. Schultz, for our superintendent report. I will let you introduce Mr. Davis, please.
Yes, I'd like to introduce Mr. Randy Davis, our Chief Financial Officer. If you'd please step to the podium and give us an overview of the tax rate increase.
Thank you.
Good afternoon.
Good evening. On your in your board agenda, beginning on page 12 and it runs through page 17, is some information regarding one is the copy of the tax rate ad, or the hearing advertisement, plus the original copy plus the ones that ran in the newspaper. And back on page 17 gives a little bit more detail as to the tax rates that are available, that are provided by the Department of Revenue through Kentucky Department of Education. And in terms of those, basically they give us 4 different sets of rates. One's compensating subsection 1, 4% rate, and then also one is a Tier 1, House Bill 940. And you can see the compensating rate without exonerations on real property is 76.3, and with exoneration 76.4, and then for personal property it's a little different. It's 76.5 without exonerations, and then 76.6 with exonerations. And then you can follow those on down. The subsection 1 rate is 79.5 and 79.6 with and without exonerations, and 4% rate. The maximum rate that you can have not subject to recall is 79.3 and 79.4. And then the Tier 1 item is 66.1 and 66.2 with and without exonerations. Based on those rates, those are analyzed in terms of where our budgeted revenues are, our budgeted expenses for the coming year. We look back at the previous year, the one that just ended June 30. And so we look at that and we anticipate what is going to grow for next year in terms of budgeted revenues and budgeted expenses. And we do an analysis not only for next year, but look forward to future years and how those recurring expenses not only affect fiscal 17, but future years. So in terms of next year, you see on there the estimated increases in terms of our recurring budgeted expenditures. Our compensation through our step increase is going to be approximately $986,500. Our retirement contributions to CERS, that's increasing from 17.06% to 18.68%, and that increase is estimated to be about $211,000. Then we have new this year in terms of what the IRS is in their agreement with Kentucky. Basically, in prior years, the FICA, the deferred contributions that people were deferring out of their salaries for CERS and KTRS were not subject to FICA and Medicare. Beginning January 1, they will be, and that will cost us, in terms of matching, approximately $73,000. And one other item.
Background music. Sorry.
I'm sorry. And then the other item in terms of technology upgrade will be fiber optics, and that's going to cost us approximately another $217,700 per year. So those increase, those increases there are approximately 1.5 million dollars approximately. So our current rate that we currently have for fiscal 16 is 76.5, and that's allocated at 54.1 cents for general fund and 22.4 cents for the building fund, which is our 4 nickels. And then we also have motor vehicle tax of 64.3 cents per hundred, and our utility tax is 3%. So those are the taxes that we have within the district. That's all that in terms of the discussion that I have. If there's any other questions, be glad to answer those.
The board has had several opportunities to review this information and to discuss with you and various district personnel. Mr. Davis, let me ask board members if they have any questions at this time. All right. So, Mr. Schultz, I'm going to ask you for your recommendation, sir.
Sure. Before I make that recommendation, if I could just go on record that I've had some people asking about why the meeting on tonight, and I just want to go on the record by saying it's not the 5 board members' issue. We made a procedural mistake that I did not catch, and so with the way that the tax laws are written, we had to re-advertise those, and so in all fairness to the board, I don't want them to have any ill things spoken about them. It really was just a mistake we made in my office, and that's why we had to adjust to make the meeting tonight. So thank you all for getting that together.
Thank you, sir.
My recommendation is to adopt the following tax rates for fiscal year 17. A tax rate increase of 1.2 cents to 77.7 cents per $100 assessed value for both real and tangible personal property, with allocation of such tax rate being general fund of 55.3 and building fund of 22.4. The motor vehicle tax rate of 64.3 cents per 100 assessed value, and the utility tax rate of 3%.
Thank you, sir. Let me ask at this time if we have persons wishing to address the board for public expression. Thank you, Matt. Yeah, let's wait and see if anybody has signed in. Thank you. We have just a few persons wishing to address the board. So before we begin, I'm going to ask Vice Chairman Woosley to read our policy governing public expression.
Speakers are to register by signing the sign-in sheet as they arrive at the meeting to provide for first come, first speak. Expressions are limited to not more than the time allotted by the board based on the number of persons who wish to make an expression. Comments must be limited to the topics discussed in Superintendent Report 1. We have four. My recommendation would be 3 minutes.
Are you in agreement?
So moved.
All right. So we will honor that time commitment to try and stay within that 3-minute guideline for persons addressing the board, give or take. And Ms. Dring is going to serve as our timekeeper so that persons that are speaking and the board can be aware of the flow of time. So thank you for honoring that guideline. Let's go ahead and begin, and I want to invite Suzanne Hundley to the microphone. Good evening.
Thank you very much. Good evening. I'm here representing the parents of Camden Station Elementary School and also South Oldham Middle School, and we support the tax increase. I understand that a lot of people get upset about the money that's spent in our schools, and serving on a PTA as the president at Camden Station Elementary School, we love our teachers. We work very, very closely with them. We support them with money through efforts that we raise that to cover supplies that are without in the district to be able to give to them. And it always breaks our heart to hear when teachers have bought snacks for kids because their parents don't send snacks in with them because they can't afford them or for whatever reason. So we provide additional stuff because we don't want our teachers to have to pay any more out of their pockets than they already do on the salaries that they're given. It also breaks our hearts when awesome teachers that we love and our children love then leave to go work somewhere else because they can make more money. And we like to think we spoil our teachers at Camden Station Elementary School as much as we can with every early release day. The PTA provides a lunch for them. We do Teacher Appreciation Week, of course. We have a huge holiday luncheon for them every year. We want our teachers to feel appreciated, and I think sometimes when they get their paychecks, they don't always feel that way. And in order for our county to stay competitive, our kids need teachers that have been there and stayed here for us. And in order to make them happy and entice them to stay, I don't mind paying some more on my property tax in order to make that happen. My brother and I have an older brother. We both went K through 12 here. Our dad was transferred to Louisville, and we moved here in 1978, and my mother still lives in that same house. So I benefited from being here. My kids are benefiting from being here, and I understand that there's a price to pay for that, and that the money has to come from somewhere. And I know everyone says we're the richest county in the state, and we should all, so you all should do more with our money. But I'm telling you, our teachers care about our kids, and they care about how much money they make. And we need to make it so that it's very, very hard for these awesome people to leave us. We want to make them happy, and we want them to stay. And I'm telling you, our parents are not going to throw a fit over another $30 a year on our property taxes. So thank you for your time.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
for your remarks, Ms. Hundley. Let's invite Mr. Robert Vessels to the microphone.
Board members, my name is Robert Vessels. I live at 1320 Bluegrass Parkway in District 3 of Oldham County. My wife and I moved to Oldham County from Jefferson County after we retired in 2001. We'd already lived in Florida, so we didn't need to go there. None of my children nor my grandchildren have ever or will ever attend school in Oldham County. However, I do realize and appreciate the value added or hopefully retained to my property by the superior Oldham County school system. When the state required report was published in the Oldham Era a week ago, I decided to spend quite a bit of time going through all the data presented. This resulted in a number of questions that I had that I felt deserved answers. I accessed the Oldham County School Board website for additional information. On Tuesday afternoon, I decided to call Mr. Randy Davis, whose name and telephone number was published in the paper. Mr. Davis discussed each of my questions and provided an acceptable answer in a very respectable and informative manner. Not once did he say, you also, and so he may have said it under his breath, I don't know. Mr. Davis even had to do some research on a couple of questions and call me back with the answers. I had some additional questions that I emailed to him. He responded in a most detailed response. I certainly appreciate Mr. Davis's time spent in addressing my concerns. My biggest mistake was in not buying at least 10 acres when we moved to Oldham County. I have 8.2 acres, and to be able to claim a farm exemption for a lower assessment and therefore to pay lower taxes on my property, and I just missed the boat. But as we all know, it seems like it's just really necessary to grow grass or not to grow anything other than grass to get a farm exemption. I realize the 1.2 cent, 1.57% increase this year is a done deal. This meeting is a formality. However, I believe that the board owes it to the property owners to make every effort to avoid another 2004 increase or the 2013-14-15 increase. I know the property valuation is not a function of the school board, but my research shows there was a significant valuation reduction and therefore less tax revenue from large tracts of land in the period from 2008 to 2011. One example, Journal Broadcasting owned 267 acres on Highway 53. The 2009 tax was $2,075. tax in 2010 was 909. Another 202 acres in the development I live in saw the tax drop from 2166 in 2009 to 504 in 2010. All I'm saying is that this all comes back on the individual property owners. I appreciate your time and thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Mr. Vessels.
Thank you very
and
much.
This board really appreciates the homework that you did, and you shared a lot of information with us, and we appreciate Mr. Davis's conversations with you. Ms. Robin Vessels.
Actually, what I have to discuss is not relevant to the superintendent's report, so I wouldn't need to discuss that today.
All right, I encourage you to email a board member, Robin, and see if we can help you with the issue. Thank you. And Joe Miles.
My name is Joe Miles. I live on Highway 42 in Goshen.
Joe, can you drop that microphone?
There
There
you
you go.
Better? My name is Joe Miles. I live on Highway 42 in Goshen. And several people at the place where we work have discussed the problem with Liberty School and the expenses. And if you can cut down expenses, then you wouldn't have to raise property taxes. And we were wondering, since Liberty School has been closed so long, what is going to be done with that? Could that property not be sold or auctioned off and bring the expenses of the board down? Thank you.
Good questions, Ms. Miles. I'm going to give the superintendent an opportunity to reply to your concern because I think we can answer those questions right here and now.
So we are looking to sell that property, but obviously we don't want to put ourselves in a position where we would sell it for less than it was purchased for. Ann Corson's been working with real estate agents, and we've been actively pursuing folks to take that property off our hands. But right now, we would actually lose money if we were to sell that property, and that would not help. So that is our goal right now. It's just a matter of timing, and depending on maybe what the East End Bridge does, depending on just a couple other factors that may make that land more valuable to a real estate person. And Ms. Corson,
Ms.
if you've got some more
Corson,
detail.
welcome.
I wanted to add that expenses have really been cut down because we turned off all the utilities, don't maintain insurance on the building itself, and the only utility we have is a little bit of electricity to run all the wastewater and sewer treatment water. That's very minimal water out there, but it's been actually shut down, so it doesn't continue running. So the expenses on that property are very low. I don't know if this is paying it or mow it or ground staff or out there mow it. The expenses are really almost nothing.
Thank you, Ms. Corson. This actually may conclude our public expression unless there are other people that would wish to address the board that did not have an opportunity to sign in, and then I would invite you to come forward. All right. Let me open the floor to board members and just see if you have any questions or concerns that you want to share at this time.
I would just like to thank Mr. Davis for your time, for meeting with us so many times and going through it, all the material in great detail with us, with different scenarios and working the numbers in different ways so we can see what we're looking at with all the options that we had. So thank you for that.
Thank you, Ms. Beckner. I want to thank this board, too, for the time that they have put in to study and evaluate this topic. It's critical to the function of our school district, and board members have given hours to really invest in understanding the setting of this tax rate this year. So thank you all. So I'm going to ask you to repeat your recommendation, Mr. Schultz.
First off, thank you for everybody that signed up to speak tonight. I truly appreciate it. My recommendation is to adopt the following tax rates for fiscal year 17. A tax rate increase of 1.2 cents to 77.7 cents per 100 assessed value for both real and tangible personal property, with allocation of such tax rate being the general fund 55.3, the building fund 22.4. 2, motor vehicle tax rate of 64.3 cents per $100 of assessed value, and 3, utility tax rate of 3%.
Thank you, sir. So you have heard the recommendation. Is there a motion to approve? Motion was made by Mrs. Beckner and seconded by Mr. Woosley. All those in favor and all those opposed. So that vote was 3-2, and your recommendation will carry, sir.
Thank you.
And I want to thank everybody again for coming tonight and for showing such an interest in what we think is a really critical component of business in the school district. Your recommendation now, Mr. Schultz.
I would like to recommend to adjourn.
All right, motion to adjourn, made by Mr. Dodson and seconded by Mr. Shum. All those in favor, and that's 5-0. Thank you all.